sleeps in this coffin, but rises every night at sunset. Chick is right. This is awful silly stuff.
Come on, take it all out.
No! Look out, Chick! Come on! Samantha, come on! Wait a minute!
The nation's top comics, Abbott and Costello. Petrified, but hilariously. Plus the dangerous and terrifying Wolfman, played by Lon Chaney. Plus that fiend out of a nightmare, the vampire Batman, Count Dracula, played by Bela Lugosi. Plus the most dreaded creature of them all, the Frankenstein monster, played by Glenn Strange. Plus a couple of luscious but designing females in the spookiest laugh fest on record.
It gets bad on Friday the 13th, but it gets worse on Saturday the 14th.
The Book of Evil!
Evil? Evil?
Richard Benjamin, Paula Prentice.
We've inherited a house with a curse.
Oh, come on, Mary. You know you don't believe in curses. Well, somebody did the dishes, and we're the only ones in this house.
An innocent family driven absolutely batty. Just when you thought it was safe to look at the calendar again comes Saturday the 14th. The year's #1 horror comedy spoof.
God, look at all these owls.
My name is John Hyatt, and I've got bats in my belfry.
You know how many? We charge by the bat.
Hold it right there, Matt.
No, darling, keep it away. No, thank you very much.
I'd like to take a look at her neck.
Well, if you don't trust me after 311 years of marriage...
When I leave this house, there'll be nothing left here to be afraid of.
Every shroud has a silver lining, so if you see every other chiller this year, you'll need Saturday the 14th.
Oh, this must be your charming wife. Famine. War.
Major Pest Control.
Death!
It's your chance to laugh at everything that ever scared you.
Come on, Billy. Quit fooling around.
Give me a kiss, darling.
Oh, let me just see who that is. I'll be back for that kiss.
Be sure to see it before sunrise. Saturday the 14th.
All I know is today's October the 31st. 31 backwards is 13. It's Friday, it's Halloween. It's the 13th anniversary of the lawnmower killings. There's a crazy loose. It's prom night. I'm out of coffee.
Oh, there was a phone message for you.
Oh, wow. From Norman?
At first it goes, your daughter's gonna die tonight.
I'm not gonna scream, and I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna scream, and I'm not gonna run.
Then he says,
Oh, wow.
Friend of yours, dear?
Probably. Is that you? Why'd you run away? Don't you want to go to a Halloween pumpkin prom with me? Huh?
Police business? I'd like to have a few words with you.
I'm scared about tonight. About making it with Norman? Or getting hacked up by the lawnmower? Or both?
Where is the scalpel?
Will this do, dear? The lawnmower killer! Sorry, Mom.
It's Halloween, it's prom night. There's a psycho loose. So don't open the door, don't answer the phone, don't look in the attic, don't go to the bathroom, don't go into the ocean, and don't go into space because no one can hear you scream. Signed, a friend.
Mark Kendall's a regular guy.
Get me out of here!
With normal problems.
I want to, but I want it to be special.
But Mark's just discovered...
Hello, tall, dark, and handsome.
that his one-night stand...
I haven't had anything this pure since the Vienna Boys Choir hit town.
...has been around for centuries.
I'm 390 years old.
400 if you're a day. Mark Kendall is necking...
Finally happened.
...with a vampire.
Did I enjoy it?
Now,
Ow.
he's losing his girl.
Bit my lip.
His customers.
Get out of here!
His image.
Look, I'm not there.
And his mind.
Oh, wow, I love your outfits.
I'm not wearing a costume.
Mark's got to choose.
It's like you're not the Mark I thought I knew. You look like Jerry Lewis.
Between his first love...
I'm the owner of the pants you've been trying to get into for the last 4 years.
...and his last date.
How would you like to spend eternity with me?
I can't. I gotta go to college.
Before his future goes up in smoke.
How'd you like your crotch set on fire?
Ooh, rough trade.
Nothing is sacred in a tasty comedy.
Can I have one of those uncooked ones?
You can sink your teeth into.
How was it?
Delicious.
Once bitten.
I don't want to be a vampire. I'm a day person.
In the dark of the night, something strange is going on.
Did you see that movie, Night of the Living Dead?
Sure.
They ship those bodies. Well, say hello.
The dead have risen from the grave.
Mister, there's 100 of those things out there.
How many did you say?
100?
And now the question is, how do we get them back into the ground?
Bert, Frank, we have a little problem.
4 left. 10 right.
It's all over everything! Stupid asshole! Watch your tongue, boy, if you like this job! Like this job! Brain!
Medical science is baffled.
And it's a puzzle, because technically, you're not alive.
Why do you eat people?
Not people. Brains.
How do you kill something that's already dead?
Well, how do I know, Fred? I don't know. Let me think.
It's not a bad question, Bert. In that movie, they destroyed the brain to kill him. Is that what they did? The brain, right. Brains. Brain! The brain! I hit the brain. Oh! Get it off! 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 Get it off!
The military is nervous.
Usual crap.
The
police are confused.
Send more cops.
It worked in the movie! Well, it ain't working now. Bring the movie line!
It's not a bad question, Bert. It's not a bad question, Bert. It's not a bad question, Bert.
The return of the living dead.
Very delicate. It's a bit of a departure from the kind of thing you normally play. What do you call this?
Well, this piece is called Lick My Love Pump.
This is the loudest,
Rock and roll!
most explosive band in heavy metal history. This is Spinal Tap.
There's such a fine line between stupid and clever.
The funniest movie ever made about rock and roll.
He choked on vomit. Well, they can't prove whose vomit it was.
The monumental classic.
There was a Stone Age monument on the stage that was in danger of being crushed by a dwarf.
The makeup of your audience seems to be young boys.
Oh, it's a sexual thing, really.
We've got, armadillos in our trousers. I mean, it's really quite frightening.
No, don't have
I was just pointing at it.
Well, don't point. I'm sure I'd feel much worse if I weren't under such heavy sedation.
The cult phenomenon.
The numbers all go to 11.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
This is Spinal Tap.
Please don't spoil the movie by adding your own soundtrack.
So shut the hell up!
Come on, love, I ain't got all day. I'm gonna clock you. Oh, this just ain't my day. Condom broke.
Oi, love! Oi!
Ah!
Oi! Oh my God! Am I dead?
Leave me alone.
No one wants to be alone. We all just want to be loved.
Listen, mate,
You were just another John. It was sex, not love.
Love is just another energy in a cosmos that's made of this stuff. Matter itself is just energy under stress.
You're talking!
Of course I'm talking. I told ya, it was sex, not love.
Everything is made of energy. And that energy itself is made from even finer energy, which is made from energy even finer than that. Until you get the very finest indeed. An infinite consciousness from which all things arise. You scientists call it the God particle.
So what am I now?
What are you now? You're a fucking ghost.
Let's see. You shed your physical layer, your body. So, you're now just mind and soul.
I ain't got no body. Nobody. Ah, I couldn't buy love. And sex was the death of me.
Sorry you had nobody. You can't expect me to love you. You were just another John, a customer. I didn't even know you. Why don't you just go to a big swirly thing in the light they're always talking about? And just leave me alone. Go to the big swirly light thing they're always talking about and leave me alone.
Ah, the light. The vortex, really. It's a corridor through another realm beyond the physical plane. A place beyond the time-space continuum where all that was, is, and will be is as one.
Go to the light. It's the source from where all things come.
Come?
Ew, come. Oh. Damn broken condom. Oh. Oh.
Go to the light. Go to the light now. It's where you came from and where you shall return. And if you ever come back to this world, maybe we shall meet again. Now go!
Breathe! 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 Push! 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 I love you too.
Good evening, my name's Graham Humphreys and I do apologise, I've got a stinking cold, so if I need to blow my nose, don't worry about it. Anyway, we're here this evening to watch The Evil Dead 2, which was subtitled Dead by Dawn. I'm doing this for, I believe, the second birthday of the Carlisle Cult Cinema Club, and thank you to Paul Donaldson for giving me this chance to say hello. So what I wanted to do is just very quickly show you this, which was the poster originally created for Palace Pictures to promote the release of Evil Dead 2. I don't have the original artwork for this anymore, it's a print. However, what I do have is that's the original painting for The Evil Dead. This was painted in the winter of 1982 for the early 1983 release. Evil Dead 2 came out about 2 years later, so this is going way back in time for me. I was working from a studio in Brixton at the time, living quite nearby there as well, and the poses, for instance this one here, and I think maybe the hand there, the hands down here, those were all referenced from Polaroids which I took of some of the colleagues working in the same studio. The basic structure is kind of a bit like the original Evil Dead painting, in as much that whereas we have the reels as the focal point from which everything else emanates, with Evil Dead 2, the Book of the Dead became the pivot for the whole illustration. I do remember at the time just wanting to make it as colourful as possible, because the film itself is quite lurid, and I think there's an attempt by Sam Raimi to emulate some of the colours that had appeared in the sort of 1960s Hammer films from Britain. There was definitely an influence there. For myself, it was just a great job to do, and I was given a lot of freedom by Palace Pictures at the time, and we had, much like the original Evil Dead, were obliged to do two versions, one which was the quad format, and then a second version for the VHS format, VHS being an essential part of their marketing campaign. Evil Dead, some of you may know, was released simultaneously at the cinemas and on VHS, which meant that it lessened the chance of any piracy, but also, given they weren't too sure of the reception for the film, they knew at least the VHS market would be a pretty good one for them, and well, as it turned out, both did very well, the cinema versions and the VHS versions. So Palace continued throughout the 80s to produce quite a lot of VHS horror outputs, and I was very lucky enough to have done a number of those covers for them. Basket Case, Creepers, for instance, Nightmare on Elm Street, 2 and 3 and 4. So yeah, it's been quite a sort of a heady little era. That 80s period, I mean, I probably owes as much to the politics of the time as well. We were living under sort of a Thatcher-Reagan era, and in many ways we kind of return to that now. So I think it's quite timely that we go back to the 1980s and look at the horror films of that era, because you know, we're certainly seeing a resurgence of horror here right now, which is in no small part down to the politics of the time. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the film. If you haven't seen it before, well, very naughty you. If you have, and I'm sure you've seen it more than once, then you're going to enjoy it once more. So have a great evening. Cheers.